Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Fintech Hunting Podcast. We have a very special guest for you today. He's an industry powerhouse. He's a thought leader, a technology evangelist. Please help me welcome back to the show, Dan Bailey, SVP at WFG Lender Services. Dan, it's great to have you back.
Michael, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, you guys have a lot of exciting things going on. It's kind of a different market, but one of the shining spots in today's market is home equity lending, right?
Right.
You know, and as people are looking to saying, hey, how can I get some equity out of my home? How do I add that addition that I wanted? My kids are now home, or I need a home office. Let's dive into it. You guys recently announced the availability of the Rapid Legal Invested Report as part of DecisionPoint. It's part of your Instant Title Solution. Tell me about how that helps lenders with home equity and what really that solution is all about.
Sure. So we realized that, one solution doesn't fit all in the home equity space. Every lender will have their own needs, requirements, risk profiles, whatever it may be. So, since I've been at WFG for the last 10 years, we've offered home equity solutions to, lenders of all sizes, large national lenders, regional banks, community banks, credit unions, whatever it may be. And from that, we've learned that everybody's different. So while we offer, full slew of products from valuation through title through closing, or rapid legal investing is meant to provide lenders just the information they need to validate that, hey, who I'm talking to on the phone actually is vested as the owner of this property. And I have a legal description that I know when I originate my home equity transaction loan will be recordable. It's a very simple report. It's very simple to get. We wanted to make it as easy as possible for our customers to be able to log in, order the report, get the report, and then move on with their transaction.
Well, and I love the fact that you really focused on the ease at which the transaction can take place, and more importantly, giving that critical and vital data right off of the bat. So you're not wasting time with somebody who really doesn't have a vested interest in that property, or somebody who doesn't have the equity that they're claiming that they have in that property. But one thing really stuck out to me, because so many people, now that home equity is one of the areas where it can help drive revenue, it's another stream of revenue for lenders. There's a lot of people just kind of throwing together new solutions.
Right.
You guys have been doing this for over 10 years. So talk to me about what other home equity products and services you have and what you guys have gained over those 10 years, because I think that knowledge and expertise is a huge differentiator from people just trying to kind of throw tools together and say, hey, we're doing something in home equity.
Exactly. Yeah, I have all this experience, right? So it's interesting. I've been in the title industry, the mortgage industry, whatever you want to call it, for the last 20 years. Never thought I'd be there 20 years, but here I am. Good stuff. And since then, I've always been involved in home equity was always a big component of the business that I ran. So, at WFG, we've learned a lot. We've learned that, hey, we have to offer a variety of products and services to our customers. So, it starts all the way with valuation, and whether it's a property condition report, an AVM, a full appraisal, a drive-by appraisal, whatever it may be, our AMC is able to provide those services for lenders. And then title, as we just mentioned, with a rapid legal investing. But then we also have traditional title insurance products like an Alta Junior, limited coverage policy, whatever it may be. We offer property reports. We offer a warranted property report, whatever those lenders might need. And again, everybody's different. Risk profiles will change across however that pool of loans that lender's looking to originate. But then beyond that, we have settlement services, so I can close the transaction, whether it's a traditional closing, hybrid closing, e-closing, whatever it may be. And then we have post-closing services too, where we can facilitate the recording, disbursement, and whatever else needs to happen for that transaction. So we've really gained that experience over these years, and we do it really, really well. Two of the things we measure all the time from a performance standpoint, I know we'll talk about this in a second, is one, are we delivering our products timely? And if not, what the issue is. And we're able to do that with live dashboards. And then does everybody like what we're doing, right? So we have an NPS score that I know we'll talk about here in a second. But it's been important for us to build those tools over these years. So, we know exactly, for us to produce is not an issue at all. And for us to meet SLAs is not an issue at all. And that's based upon what we've built over the 10 years here at WFG.
Well, and you rattled off a slew of products and solutions, and I think that really goes to the holistic nature of your guys' understanding of home equity lending And being able to adapt that to so many different risk profiles, so many different types of lenders. This isn't just for an IMB. This isn't just for a bank. It isn't just for a credit union. It can also serve a community bank. I think that really gives you guys a leg up of saying, we understand it, we know it. Now, one of the questions I hear in talking to lenders throughout the country, whether it's home equity or anything else, they're looking at, how can I capture more of this business? How can I reduce the cost to originate? And how can I close faster, right? I mean, those are probably three questions you guys get all the time. How would you address that for a lender? I know every situation is different, but most people are dealing with those three challenges in today's market.
Yeah, and I think, it's over the last couple of years, we've had a lot of discussion around things instant, right? I want instant title commitment. I want to be able to close as fast as I can. And certainly in the home equity space, that's true, right? Everybody wants to close within 15 days or even faster if they can. I think eventually you get to a point where maybe it's that same day. But we also know that there's a quality that's there as well. So sometimes instant products, and not all of them, but can lead to some issues later on, right? So if you have an error in the legal description, maybe you have a problem recording because the tool that you're using from a tech standpoint didn't catch that error, right? With our rapid legal investing report, we do QC it before we deliver it. We want to make that double check to make sure that what we're providing is an accurate product. That way it's done immediately. And we're talking within 30 minutes, right? So there's certain information I can give you instantly. If you want to know how long I think it's going to take to close, we can provide that without a question. But with our rapid legal investing, let's do a QC. Let's deliver something to you, within 30 minutes that's accurate, that you can utilize, and that's valuable for you. And then we do that with all our products, right, and all our services. And I think, as I mentioned, as we built this, our operations over the last 10 years, it's allowed us to really figure out where all of our internal efficiencies are from a cost standpoint. That way, pricing is such a key sensitive point for home equity transactions. And our products are priced right for our lenders and right for their transactions, so that it benefits everybody. And that's really just from learning and building and learning and building and learning and building. This is a business that we run, like I mentioned, for 10 years. We've been able to build it so that we can do it profitably and then provide benefit to our customers in the form of process efficiency and then cost effectiveness as well.
Well, and I love how you talked about speed, and speed's great. But if you don't have quality alongside it, it really didn't save you any time. Maybe in that initial question, you got an instant answer, but if the data's wrong, if there's a problem with it, it's not a speedier transaction because you have to go back and you have to jump through more hoops and more steps. And that also leads to a negative customer and borrower experience, right?
Yep,
you didn't do it right the first time if you didn't have the accurate data, if you didn't know the question. So I think that is critical, and I'm really glad you focused on that because too many people just think of, did I get that information instantly? Well, if it's wrong, who cares? I'd rather wait 30 minutes and have it all correct, and I can move the transaction along much more quickly from that perspective.
You close within 10 days, but then you're dealing with the headaches for 3 months, right? Nobody wants to do that, right? Let's get it done.
Exactly.
Yep.
What are some of the key considerations lenders should look for when looking for a home equity solution? Like I talked about, there's a lot of people because some of the areas of the business aren't doing well, so people just throw out, we have home equity. We retrofitted something and they don't really know home equity. What should lenders look for? How do they vet a provider so that they're really getting the best service possible?
Yeah, and I think as we just discussed, shiny objects are neat to look at. But you really got to investigate to make sure that whomever you're dealing with from a vendor standpoint has that level of experience where they're going to be there, right? They're going to be there for the long haul. They understand they can perform. So you're going to want to understand, hey, do I have SLAs and how do I measure my SLAs and how can I make sure that they're going to deliver on time? I think those are two really key considerations. And then too, for us, it's, as much as we're in the title industry, we're also in the customer service industry, right? Everybody that I deal with, all of my lender customers, their borrowers, their credit unions, their members, those are my customers, and I've got to be able to provide impeccable service to them, even if I'm just delivering a title report or even if I'm just recording a mortgage. That service is key. Beyond the SLAs, if I'm just a jerk to deal with, no one's going to want to deal with me. So I've got to make sure that I'm measuring, my customer service aspect, and we do that through our NPS scores.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your NPS scores. I think a lot of vendors kind of shy away from that, probably because they haven't taken the time, they haven't gone through it. Explain to the audience what that Net Promoter Score is, kind of how you measure it, and why that's important to their business.
Sure. So, we measure everything, right? So, whether it's emails coming into our organization, phone calls coming into our organization, how fast we're delivering product, what the quality of those products are, and whether or not we're delivering good customer service. So I'd say probably 5 years ago now, we said, we kind of did this gut check and said, okay, we're doing really good. We're green on our SLAs. I get title to you really quick, but we don't really know if people like working with us, and how do we determine that? So we adopted NPS, Net Promoter Score. We ask a very simple question, would you recommend us to your friend or your colleague? If so, why? If not, why? We want to know, right? And what that's allowed us to do really is it's allowed us to identify issues, right? I mean, we're not perfect. I'd like to say that every transaction is flawless and perfect, and certainly that's our goal, but perfection is hard to obtain, right? But through our NPS, what it allows us to do is identify if we have a poor score, a 0, as opposed to a 10, which is what we want. We can look into it and say, well, why did this happen, right? Why was this borrower displeased, or this loan officer displeased, or this processor displeased about what we did? And then how do we correct it? And that not only is just valuable for that one transaction, but then every transaction, we learn from that, and every transaction going forward, we're able to prevent that from happening. And we've seen it too, where we have a poor score, where we reach out to that borrower and have a conversation, apologize, explain what happened, and then correct it. And then we go and get another score where they give us back and say, hey, someone actually listened, right? Someone saw that I complained. They reached out to us. They solved that issue for us. And that's such a key value. And we love to share that with all of our customers. That customer experience is such a vital component of what we do these days that, having a tool that we can score it and learn from it is invaluable.
Well, and I think that key is when you said, you can't be perfect. None of us are. There's no technology out there that's perfect. But what most people want to know is somebody actually listened to me, and then they took some steps. They were empowered to try to correct it. Exactly. And when you can do that, like you said, that's a much more memorable experience maybe than someone just who buzzed through the transaction right off the bat and had no issues. The fact that you cared and you took the time and you listened and contacted. And it's refreshing to hear that, because I think so many times in this industry, we're very transaction focused. Smith file in, Smith file out, Jones file in, Jones file out, instead of focusing on the relationship and saying, hey, they're giving us feedback. They didn't love this part of the transaction, or this didn't go well. And the fact that you guys are not only listening and asking for that feedback, but then taking action on that to improve. I'd love to hear it. And so, Dan, congratulations on that front. I think that really differentiates you guys. What else do people need to know? What else do you see on the horizon as you guys are doing a lot of things, whether it's in title, whether it's in home equity? What else are you guys focusing on, and how are you trying to add value in today's mortgage market?
Yeah, and I think that, just one quick point about NPS too, people's expectations change over time. So certainly NPS has allowed us to adapt what we do to meet those expectations. And right now, we're in a time in this industry where volumes are low, right? We're having some market condition issues. And for us, it's while we're 12 years young, we're built for the long haul. We're in it to win it, I guess, so to speak. We're looking to continue to grow throughout this little downturn in our marketplace, and to continue to develop products that meet the expectations of our customers. And beyond home equity, there's a lot of interesting developments around, truly that e-closing experience, that digital mortgage experience. So we're really excited about that as we get through these next few months here and see that industry turn back a little bit. I think we'll be in a better position to really fulfill that goal of a digital mortgage, and something that's faster, that's easier. And certainly we love partnering with our customers to figure that out, right? What can we do to help that transaction move along more quickly? And certainly the folks that work for me, my direct reports, and the folks that are on our teams, and we've all been in the industry for it's 20 years or so, right? So, we've got a lot of experience. We always want to reach out and help our customers and help our lenders figure out what else can we do, right? How else can we help you? What's next? What would be a good product or a good service for you? And really partnering to make sure that we can deliver to them what they need to deliver the best experience for their borrowers.
Well, and that collaboration is so important. And I think too many times people think they have a technology and they roll out a technology and just kind of like, hey, take it. This is what it is.
Yep.
The fact that you guys are asking your clients, your customers, What else could we be doing? How can we partner together? As you know, as well as I do, we'll just keep it at 20 plus years in the industry. We don't have to go any further than that. We'll just say a lot of expertise and knowledge. Too many times people don't realize how much the industry continues to evolve. Rates are fluctuating, things are changing, volumes are down. That could all radically change in a month, or it could be 6 more months. But we know that the market's going to turn. And the fact that you're listening to clients and wanting to understand their pain points and working to solve those, I think is a testament to a lot of the great things that you guys are doing. Dan, what's the best way? If somebody wants to find out more about what you guys are doing, either on home equity or some of the digital mortgage stuff, what's the best way they can get a hold of your team?
Sure. So 2 ways. One, you can email us at about@wfgls.com. Or you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn or any of my salespeople on LinkedIn. We're pretty active on LinkedIn. You can reach out to any of us. That's Tammy London, Brian Wilson, or Aaron Frasco. Feel free to reach out to them. But yeah, certainly you can also email about@wfgls.com, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can.
Dan, you are always a wealth of knowledge. You are welcome back anytime. Thank you so much for being a guest on this episode of the Fintech Hunting Podcast.
Thanks, Michael. It's great talking to you this morning.
Thank you.